Welcome back to Made Simple. Today we're going to be going over a few count functions, specifically count A, count blank, and a little bit into Countif functions as well. And the way we're going to be doing this is diving into a little bit of data here. Let's say that we held a charity event, so a charity race, a 5K, 3K, and we collect a little bit of information, the name of each racer, their age, where they're from, phone number, if they ran a 5K or a 3K, the time they completed the race, and their total contribution. Alright, so let's say that we wanted to know the total amount of racers or participants in this event. Can't type. So we can do equals count, and you notice the count function, it counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. So if it doesn't contain numbers, it won't count it. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. Hit tab. So we notice that age has numbers, contribution. Let's just select all of these ages. Alright, so we go ahead and hit enter, and it'll calculate that there were 34 cells that contained numbers in that set that we selected. So there were 34 total participants. Another way you can do this is use the count A function, which counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So that way, if we wanted to instead highlight the names of each racer and hit enter, we'll come up with the same result, total 34 racers. So we'll just go ahead and delete that and keep that one there. Alright, so let's say we also wanted to know the total contribution, the total amount we raised for charity today. So we'll just use a simple sum function, select all the contribution. In fact, it doesn't look super nice, so we'll go ahead and format this real quick. So looking a little bit better, but we'll notice that we want this in dollars. It could be a little bit confusing. So let's put that in currency. Let's move the decimal place since it's all even numbers here. And then we'll just put a thick border around here, and then highlight this. Put another thick border, and there we have it. Still looks a little hard to read, a little jumbled together. So let's add some color to this. Let's put this to like a darker green, and let's say we wanted to divide these rows better because it's kind of hard to determine each row. So let's just color this a light green. All right, and we want to do that for the whole data set. So what we can do is highlight these cells, and then we can hit this paintbrush up at the top, the format painter, and select what we want to format the same, and it will add these green rows into our entire data set. So that way it's a little bit easier to read. Let's change this to currency, and we did pretty good. We raised $730 for charity. Alright, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the count blank statements. So as you notice here in the time section, there's a couple of racers that don't have times, which indicates that they didn't finish the race. So let's say we wanted to know the racers who didn't finish. A little bit of a mouthful there. Alright, so we'll do equals, and then we'll go to the count blank statement where it says counts the number of empty cells in a specific range of cells. So we'll go ahead and select that, select all of this data, and go ahead and hit enter. Alright, so it says that there are 5 racers who didn't finish the race. So let's go ahead and verify just to make sure it's not lying to us. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks. Not seeing any others. So it's true. It's accurate. Alright, so for this next part, let's say that of all these racers, we wanted to know all of the racers who contributed exactly $10. Alright, so we can go ahead and do racers. Let's just do racers of $10, make it simple. So we can go ahead and do equals count, and let's go to count if statement. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit complicated with if statements. So this counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given condition. All right, so let's go ahead and tab that, select that. So first it says it wants to select a range. So we'll go ahead and select all of this. All right, and then comma, and it wants a criteria. So it'll count. So what it's asking for is it wants a criteria that if met, it will count those cells. So let's say that if that cell, we'll put this in quotes here. Let's say so $10. All right. Then we'll go ahead and hit enter, and we'll notice that there are 5 people or 5 racers who paid contribution of exactly $10. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's where it gets a little complicated, selecting the criteria, because you can set certain formulas and make it a little bit more complicated. But for our purposes, just keep it simple. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about today is filters. So in order to use a filter, let's go ahead and select this set or this range of cells. All right, and we'll go up to the home menu, we'll go up to here, sort and filter, and we'll just click on this filter button. And you'll notice it'll bring these drop down arrows onto the cells. So let's say instead of calculating this, we just want to look at it real quick. So the way we can do that is hit this arrow, and right now all of these are selected. So let's unselect everything and then just select the $10. Or say we just want to see the racers who paid $10. So we'll hit OK, and it will temporarily get rid of the rest of the racers and just show the racers who contributed $10. All right, so let's go ahead and just unselect that, bring it back. And so you can do that with any one of these things. So let's say you wanted to see which racers were from, let's say, Seattle. Hit OK, and we'll notice we have all of these 8 racers were from Seattle, and they contributed a total of $209. All right, and then you could go from there and create averages and do things like that, just for quick assessments. All right, so let's go ahead and just bring that back. So the power of filters is really important, but one thing you will notice, no matter what I do to these filters, so let's say I just want to select Allison, all right? So there's just one person here, but you'll notice that our count statements still stay the same, all right? So there's still 34 racers. This does not change regardless. So we'll go ahead and unselect that. So regardless of the filter you use, your formulas will stay the same, because this is just temporarily hiding the information from you. All right, and a way just to get rid of the filters, you select them again and just click on filter again, and those drop downs will go away. All right, so that's a little bit of an insight into count statements and filters, just to kind of analyze data a little bit better. Hopefully this was easy to understand and easy to follow along with. If you have any questions or comments, feel free just to leave them at the bottom, and go ahead and subscribe and like this video, and we hope to see you for the next one. Thanks. Have a great day.